Waking up at 3 a.m. isn't a malfunction, it's your body doing exactly what it was designed to do. Most people assume that waking at 3 a.m. means something has gone wrong. They blame stress, or the coffee at 2 p.m., or the phone screen before bed. And those things can make it worse, no question. But the deeper truth is that 3 a.m. sits almost perfectly at a crossroads in your sleep architecture, and that crossroads is hardwired into human biology in a way that has almost nothing to do with how anxious you are or how late you watch television. The real explanation is structural. It's about what your brain is actually doing in those hours, and when you understand the sequence, the wakefulness stops feeling random. Your sleep doesn't move in one undivided stretch. It cycles, roughly every 90 minutes. In the early cycles, the first 3 to 4 hours, your body spends most of its time in deep, slow-wave sleep. Your brain generates slow delta waves. Growth hormone is released. Your muscles are loose. The body is doing serious repair work at a cellular level. But by the time you've been asleep for 4 or 5 hours, that deep sleep pressure is largely spent. The remaining cycles shift heavily toward REM sleep. And REM is not deep sleep. It's active, almost electric. Your brain during REM is nearly as busy as when you're awake. That shift from heavy, early slow-wave sleep to lighter, REM-dominant sleep is precisely when you become easy to pull to the surface. 5 hours in, you're not in deep water anymore. You're close enough to wake that almost anything can do it. The second piece is hormonal, and stranger than most people expect. Around 3 a.m., your body begins releasing cortisol, not a small amount, but a significant pulse, part of a biological process called the cortisol awakening response. This is preparation. Your body is beginning to mobilize you toward eventual consciousness. Cortisol raises blood sugar, nudges the cardiovascular system upward, starts sharpening alertness. All of this is supposed to happen. The problem is that chronic stress, irregular sleep schedules, and alcohol can amplify that release or shift it earlier. When it arrives too sharply, you don't just edge toward lighter sleep. You cross into full wakefulness, eyes open, mind already running, clock reading 3:11. The third piece runs through REM sleep and involves a specific region of the brain, the amygdala. During REM, the amygdala, the structure responsible for flagging threat and emotional intensity, is disproportionately active. REM sleep is where your brain processes emotional memory. If you're carrying anxiety, unresolved tension from the day, or something you've been quietly avoiding, your brain surfaces it during these later, REM-heavy hours. It's working through the material. For many people, especially those under sustained stress, that processing is intense enough to pull them fully awake. The thought that meets you at 3 a.m., the worry, the regret, the suddenly urgent problem, didn't arrive from nowhere. Your brain was already in there, sorting. So here's one thing you can do this week, grounded in what's actually happening. A drop in blood glucose in the early morning hours can trigger a cortisol spike entirely on its own. Your body reads low blood sugar as a mild emergency and responds in kind. Stabilizing that overnight glucose dip is one of the more reliable ways to soften the 3 a.m. wakefulness. The intervention is small: eat something before bed with a little protein and fat. Not a meal. A tablespoon of almond butter. A few walnuts. A small piece of cheese. Just enough to give your metabolism something to work with overnight. Try it for 5 consecutive nights and pay attention to what shifts. For a meaningful number of people, that wakefulness either disappears or becomes much easier to sleep back through. You are not broken at 3 a.m. You are moving through the most hormonally active, emotionally complex stretch of your entire night. The same body that woke you has spent the previous hours quietly rebuilding you. It just has more moving parts than most people ever get to know about.